Hello, I am Jaynee from Messages from Heaven by Jaynee on YouTube. I want today to talk about difficult people and how to deal with them. I worked for a long time, and really, you meet difficult people all over. Um, when I was a kid, we moved from a part of Philadelphia, Mount Airy. We moved to Oxford Circle, and we moved into this place where there were a bunch of people who used to hang out all day, or for hours anyway, smoking. Because in those days, in the 50s, almost everybody smoked, and they were pretty nasty. They used to say things to, you know, just to each other, to me, to the kids, not things that were helpful. Anyway, um, that can happen where you move in someplace and it's not right because you can't pick your family and you can't pick your neighbors. So I've seen what people do sometimes. You probably have, where they put something in the middle of steps going down. My parents didn't do that. Um, they were pretty classy people who didn't believe in that stuff. But for the kids on the block who were different, it was very hard because nobody was trying to keep keep kids in line. Kind of the boys who weren't bullies were picked on badly, and that's that. Now for sure it wouldn't be tolerated, but in the 50s it was, and you know, I hope it's not tolerated anymore because it was very ugly. Um, when I worked, I met some wonderful people. I met Margie Moore, who ran she ran the children's choir at her church. Now, you would every Sunday I would be there because I it didn't it didn't get in my head what she was actually doing, and uh, I didn't understand because I didn't understand black churches. Um, she came to me when she passed away, and she didn't have to explain that, but I was really glad she came and said hello and everything. She was a very, very nice person, um, who taught me how to grow plants. And when we moved from Philadelphia to Delaware, I built a whole garden, and I need to say thank you to Margie Moore because I I was like a poison pill before that for plants. She was the cure. Um, what happened with me is I eventually was transferred into a center city job, which was really much more to my liking. Um, in fact, I really did like it. I loved being in Center City with all the stores, and I used to walk through the gallery. Um, but here's the thing: when I met people there, I met one woman who was the most cruel, angry, mean person. She's one of the two that I met. Most Almost nobody is like that, where you can't see any good in them. You really can't. You're looking and you're figuring, well, in what way are they good? She wasn't even a good mother. She was nasty to her daughter. I don't know about to her son, but a horrible person. And like I said, one of the two. So when I used to be in work, they had it all divided up in little pieces and stuff. If I saw her coming, I turned around and walked the other way, which is Honestly, it's the best advice I can give to somebody. And if she wanted to stop me and tell me some horrible thing that someone said about me, I would try to get away. I didn't want to know. Her daughter was half as bad. Um, you could hardly not be as bad as mom. Um, it was a weird place. It was there were a lot of political appointees. I wasn't. Um, I was at one point in an office with a woman, and I was listening to Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I can't sing. It was hard. I was singing and not even thinking about it. And I didn't know. All I knew about her was that she owned cats like I did, and she stood up and she came over and she started yelling about Jews. And uh, I'm Jewish, so I got up and I wasn't saying anything terrible to her, but she was looking for an answer. And the fact is that, look, in every ethnic or religious group, there are bad people. Everybody cannot be good. If you happen to know, if those are the people you meet, then you might think, oh, all blank are evil or bad. Um, she pushed me and I started screaming. Um, Someone walked in and said, "What's going on?" And I said, "Ah." And what happened though was that ultimately she denied she did anything. She lied. I think she was afraid. Um, and I just got out of there and was upset. It took me a while. Um, I don't know what to say about it because it was wrong. You don't, I mean, that, the culture I come from, you don't hit people. You just don't. Um, I can't, I just, it isn't in my vocabulary. But apparently it was in hers. And she remained friends with Jewish people and other people. I don't know what was in her head. She never apologized. But my point is that, of course, I avoided her, and um, no, I would not talk to her. But you do find people like that, and worse. Um, I found, uh, I, I found at least one person because I used to be the kind of person if I saw something wrong, I would say it. I saw someone parked in a handicapped spot today, a great big truck, guy sitting there in the truck, and I noticed that there was no plaque hanging in the front, and it was parked with the back to the wall. And I looked to see if there was something like on the tag, you know. No, and I had to stop myself because I would have gone over, knocked on the window, and said, "This is a handicapped parking spot. You're not supposed to be here." What if somebody in a wheelchair needs to come into the building? This is for a doctor's appointment this morning. Um, I have a problem with walking now, and I am seeing an acupuncturist who is doing fabulous work with me, but sometimes I really have problems. And I've had lupus, and you know, people cannot tell when another person has a heart condition or lupus or God knows what else. Um, it isn't right to do that. You know, to take a spot meant for a handicapped person. And I fought with God. I fought with so many people over that kind of stuff. You know, you're taking my whatever's mine. Why would you do that? Why do you feel entitled to do it? I just had to stop because, especially down here, people are different, and and I don't know where they're coming from. You know, so um, they're I don't know where I am. There are more magas. Anyway, I want to say thank you for looking. Um, Difficult people are all over, and a lot of times, I guess I should tell you, a lot of times when they die, they they will come back and apologize. I mentioned my parents' neighbors, and when the neighbor next door, the man passed away, he came to me um, and apologized. He felt like he needed me to accept his apology, and he did funny things to get my to be funny and to get me to accept it because I really didn't want to, but I finally did. And a woman I worked for outside Center City came and apologized. People do. It's really advisable for us to apologize when we're living than to have to do that when we're dead. Because what we do is when you die, it's another life. You don't really die. Hello, you don't die. Your body dies. This meat is kaput. You can do whatever you want with it, burn it up, throw it in the ground, whatever you want, but you don't die. You simply go to a different place because we really are energy. Um, I don't know whether we go talk to somebody like angels who are really just higher forms of energy, um, or if we sit down, because I have seen people sitting and reflecting. So it could be after they've met with whoever, or it could be that could be it. Because we are our worst critics. Um, you do, as far as I can see, you simply think you go through every piece of your life for what do you have to say, I'm sorry. Um, what grievance do you have? You sit there and you go through the whole thing. You have all the time in the world. So you do come back and say you're sorry. Um, my husband gets he was a Philadelphia police officer in the 60s and 70s. He has had probably every police officer he ever worked with who passed away, except for maybe one, come to him and either apologize or just talk. They just come. I've had people with whom I worked come and usually just be there. I've also had somebody come who was angry. Um, People aren't all flowers and honey when they go over. I know that we try to say that, but not necessarily true. However, um, you do learn of all your past lives. So you're not just Jane from this life. You are Harry from every life that you had. And the wisdom that you gleaned is then present in you, in your energy. You can be seen by mediums like me and talk. I had a wonderful conversation with a woman I worked with um, about a week ago who passed away, and it was really lovely. We are we are people, but the truth of us is really energy. It's not, it's not the meat. Um, yeah, uh, what can I tell you? So, difficult people. Sometimes it's very hard. If you can't get away from the person, if the person is your supervisor, um, I had that, and it. What happens is we have a lot of problems in our bodies, things that are latent, um, like diabetes, lupus, um, back pain, things that are aggravated by stress. Uh, when I worked in the place that wasn't in Center City, um, I really got sick. That's when my lupus came on like gangbusters, and I didn't want to quit because it was a good job. It paid well. I had my own office, and I liked the people. I liked a lot of the people I worked with, um, and I didn't want to leave. So it it was a dilemma, and I know that happens to a lot of people. Uh, I was lucky, and when I did leave, I went to something that offered me a lot of freedom, and it had a lot of wonderful parts. But yeah, you the the stress will kill you, literally kill you. I I worked with so many people who got sick. It was stressful. Um, I didn't find the job to be stressful. I found when I think it's pretty common. You're asked to do things that you can't possibly, like, you don't have the time. I know teachers have that. You can't do it all, and yet you're expected to. Or you're expected to. I was expected when I was not working in Philly to get these people. Oh, I'm going to have to go because the phone's ringing. I was expected to get these people to act differently. They've been there for 20 years doing what they did, and I shouldn't have had the job. They should have had the job, but because I had the degrees, uh, I was given the job. That's a shame because it wasn't necessary. And so, anyway, I've talked enough. Thank you so much for listening. Um, if you have any questions, suggestions, anything, just contact me at um 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 uh what let's see, spiritsbyjaynee at gmail.com. I really can talk to them. I do terrific readings. They're not expensive, and if you have no money, you'll just talk to me. Um, that's it. Thank you again. Push the buttons, please, and thank you for watching. Have a lovely afternoon and evening, or whenever you're watching. Okay, good night. Bye.